Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Xbox Life, episode 669. What is Sony thinking? I am one of your hosts, Mark, aka Wingman709, and with me this week are my two bestest buddies, Brun and Rob. Say hello, Brun.
Hello. BJ Swick 33.
And how about you, Rob?
Hello. This is Rob, also known as Prestar. Is this the pumpkin spice edition? It's that time.
It is that time, isn't it? Are you a big pumpkin spice fan?
No. Nah.
No.
I love like pumpkin spice bread, stuff like that. Oh, so good, but
Yeah.
drinks? No, thanks.
After the first week, it overstays its welcome.
Yeah, I just want my pumpkin pie with loaded and covered completely with Cool Whip. That's all I care about.
The Costco pumpkin pie.
And Cool Whip, not that Ready Whip in a spray can. That is garbage. I'm talking Cool Whip. That's the real treat for pie.
Oh, you mean the whipped topping that you can actually buy without a driver's license?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I saw that on the news the other day. Oh my God.
You can get your pumpkin spiced Oreos that, you can wash them down with your pumpkin spice Mountain Dew, and then later, if you're adult, you can have some of your pumpkin spice Bud Light.
That just all sounds gross.
I don't think it. I don't know if any of that's real, but it sounds about sounds about what people would have.
And after the first one, can you even taste the rest of it?
I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
So I got a question for you guys. Or you can talk about Oreos. Oreos have been around forever, and they got all these different flavors, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so far, my favorites by far are the lemon. I think those are like the greatest. But why is there not been a strawberry flavored Oreo?
There has been.
I think there has been.
Yeah, they had.
I have never seen that.
So just recently they had Neapolitan, which
right. I'm like, they do the Neapolitan, but
and then
I want the strawberry filling with the chocolate cookie. Like, to me, that would be the greatest Oreo in existence.
So a couple of years ago they had it, and it was actually really, really good. It was chocolate covered strawberry Oreo. So that was excellent, by the way. That was one of my favorite ones. And I do have to say, one of my favorite ones is actually the ones with the Pop Rocks in them, or the popping candy, or whatever you want to call it, the fireworks.
Yeah, I've seen them. I haven't tried them.
Yeah, they're cool with a little popping action while you eat them. Nothing too bad.
Yeah, I agree with the lemon, and actually the Oreo. So if you get the lemon and you get the Oreo Thins lemon edition, they actually taste more lemony than the regular ones, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Fun Oreo fact for everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna mute for a second.
Okay.
Or you could just skip the whole Oreo thing if you like lemon. Just get some limoncello. There you go.
Nah, Jello reminds me of the hospital.
Not Jello, limoncello. That's a drink.
Oh, I thought you said Jello. I'm like, no thanks. No Jello for me.
All right, I'm back.
He's back, folks.
My daughter is like on my deck, right out my window here, and she's dragging a chair around like I don't know what she's doing. Trying to find more sun, but I'm like, would you stop? I'm yelling at her, trying to record.
We couldn't hear.
Everyone's gonna hear nothing, but that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. That means my noise gate stuff is working.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, but yay! All right, I'll yell back at her. Continue making noise. All right, let's move on from our Oreo talk. Now that I want strawberry Oreos, I'm gonna have to hit Amazon and see if I can buy them that way. I've just never seen them. So, but I gotta go. If they're out there, I gotta find me some. So we are not affiliated with Microsoft or the Xbox in any way. This is a show being done by fans for fans of the Microsoft Xbox. The views and opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of Microsoft. So let's see what everyone's been playing this week. And Rob, you've got stuff on the list here.
Yes.
Woo!
Did some more of the Mining Simulator 2 on Roblox. Mic drop. It's getting boring. I'm kind of like high level right now, and there's really nothing to do. At least nothing where you feel like you're making progress on something. So I don't know how much longer that's going to stay, but every week they actually do updates, so they give you more stuff to find or more things to do, and I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I might go back to some of the other ones that my son and I used to play because it kind of renewed my Roblox addiction, if that's such a thing. Then I also played some Desperados 3, and I know Brendan and I talked about this a little bit last time, but great game. Really enjoy it, and the level that I'm on is really difficult. It's getting really kind of annoying, but yeah, that's about it. I think just those two things outside of the usual, mobile stuff like Guns Up Mobile. This Xbox Life Alliance actually came in first place. So there's a new season or new whatever league, whatever they call it. That is starting in a couple of days. So looking forward to that. That's about it.
That game I've gotten so bored with.
Yeah.
It really for me kind of burned out pretty quick. It
Oh
seems
wow.
like it's like I feel like they really want you to pay a lot of money to get like I have the same like 5 troops, the same 2 vehicles, that's it. And it's like you'll pick something up and it's like, "No, you need to pick up like this soldier like 800 times before you actually unlock it." It's like, "What?" It's like
Yeah.
I the way the game is it's fun, but I just feel like I'm just doing the exact same thing over and over and over and over with no new units and no,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
and I
What?
stopped paying into the season pass. It was like you get all this stuff and it's like, what is it? Like, oh, there's a little red boot. What the hell's a
What is?
little red boot
Yeah.
for?
What does that
What
mean?
does that do?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's so
it's
funny.
weird. Or the green ammo box or something. Or there's all these little things. It's like, what is that for? I can't seem to figure out what those are for.
Yeah.
I think this game really doesn't. It's just kind of. It's like you just get in and play. It doesn't really put a bunch of. Doesn't really. I don't think really explain the game. Like some of them do a little bit better job, but
Hmm.
I'll still pick it up every once in a while. I just don't play it every day like I did for when I first started playing. I was like, "Ooh, this is cool," and then it just. I don't know. I hit that rut where it's just like I've played like what is it, the zombie game, and I just it's overwhelming. It's
Oh
like
yeah. Just get annihilated.
you can't even do it. Like I was clearing waves, and then all of a sudden, like there's so many zombies now, like you don't have a shot. It's like okay, I'm gonna have to be like level 4,000 before I can even compete here. So I'm done with that mode. Defend mode is can be fun, but it's like you've got to somehow get your defenses built up and it's like, okay, well, then you got to play a bunch of the other modes to get crates and stuff. And it's just the prison break is kind of fun, but I hit that point where, like, no matter what I do there, and I'll go and play one day and I can't do anything. Like, I get completely wiped out on every mode.
Oh wow.
And it's like, why? Like, this doesn't, I can even play the same, like, units,
Hmm.
you know, and, uh, and then I'll come back like the next day and then I can clear a couple of the attack modes or something.
Yeah.
Like no problem, go right through it. And the next day it's like you can't clear any. It's just like I don't understand how this game works.
Yeah. There's definite strategies and stuff that you have to do in order to get past certain things, and
Well, it seems like I
either.
don't have they've got some troops that come out that just wipe mine out. Like I
Yeah.
can't even and it's just like I don't have anything that will counter them except for like the aerial bombardments.
Yeah.
But then they've got the anti-aircraft emplacements, so you can't even get those in there. And it's like, oh,
It's like a lot of games where, when you go in, especially if you're a free to play or mostly free to play, it's like, how much of a chance do you have against somebody who dropped so much money into the game that all their stuff is like so high level?
Yeah.
It's like you almost don't have a chance. But that's why, like, when you do raids and things like that, you can actually choose. Like, you can skip people for like 50 gold. And I usually go through and like cherry pick a couple that are a little bit easier to build or a little easier to uh, attack and stuff. And my favorite is actually I have the paratroopers. I don't know if
Yeah.
you have that unlocked. There's some levels where their defensive stuff is like so far ahead that I'll actually like start distracting those guys with my normal vehicle and troops, and then I drop my paratroopers in back and they just blow up the base with like no resistance. If anybody comes out of the base, then I usually smoke bomb them.
Oh, the smoke bombs are the best thing.
Yeah, yeah, because they
But
they delay and they kind of stagger, you know, all the troops underneath them, and then the 5 paratroopers will usually wipe out anything that comes out. But yeah, it's the best is like an early on where you just blow them up without even going through the whole defenses. Happens every once in a while. Good times. But yeah, that's about it for me.
right. So how about a Brun?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard what I heard when he said, "Oh my gosh, Rob, you have stuff on your list." I heard all of our future listeners' mouth hit the floor, like in shock. Just kidding.
Yeah.
So I've been playing, continued some Solasta, Crown of the Magister. Playing that with the guys. So we're going along with that. Did some more Fortnite with. Even though the Dragon Ball Z stuff is in there, I can't wait for it to be gone.
Amen, brother.
We still did manage to get a couple wins, but like, I lost one round. It was like 2v2. One guy knocked Adam and I shot and hit him and I was reloading and it was just like I hear him kick that thing up and I'm like, well, I'm standing in the middle of like nowhere. I can't really run away. Because
Yeah.
even if I started to shoot at him, I was dead. Like, so, and I died because of it. So, but I see people using it. I don't want to say using it less, but I mean, if you pretty much just go directly after the person who uses it, then you're okay. But if you're in a squad of 3 and they all have them, that makes it really hard. So, but yeah, so some Fortnite. I did finally get to level 100. I think I'm like a 105 or something now. But did that, and I actually installed Destiny because they are all content is free in Destiny until the 30th. So I'm trying to get the Witch Queen stuff in, which is the only content I didn't purchase, which is the latest. So I think I might pick that back up even after I'm done with this podcast. I might jump back on there and continue with that so I can get it done. But I was even looking, I was like, okay, stuff's on sale. Let me see about purchasing it. Because I was like, they gave away. So I don't know. Like Bungie came out and they talked about their next expansion, which comes out in February. $100 for the deluxe edition,
Oh,
or
jeez.
Wow.
$49 for the regular edition. So they're doing that
Oh,
again. And usually when they do that, the other ones are like $20 to kind of catch up with everything. So, I was like, okay, let me look at it. Looks good. Looks like it's going to be fun. But it's free. And
well,
they came out and said, hey, by the way, you can get Destiny on Epic because it was only on Steam and now it's on Epic. But of course, I was sitting there thinking, well, Sony has a big relationship with Epic. That's probably why Destiny's on Epic. And if you go and you play it on Epic, you got to get the 30th anniversary for free, which I didn't buy either because that's where you'd buy the Galahorn. You had to pay $30 for the Galahorn. And you got a couple other things with that. I don't want to make it sound like it was just for one weapon. was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll download it there. I'll play it, get the anniversary pack, and then I'll jump back over on Steam and play. Nope. Not
No.
going to happen. You have to buy the content again for each platform you want to play it on.
Oh wow.
So it's not cross buy. And I understand. I don't know why I thought it was going to do that. At least being PC, you know what I mean? Because what it was is I got it all when it was on the Activision Blizzard launcher, and it all converted over to Steam when they went to Steam. And then I was thinking, well, like all my stuff converts over. I play it on Epic, and if I get on Epic, it'll convert back over to Steam. I understand that it doesn't convert between PC and Xbox or PC and PlayStation. But no, you go onto their website, man, they'll show you like where you can play each of your content and where you've purchased it and like where you got to purchase it again. So I was like, well,
How nice of them.
I was like, well, that's kind of dumb. Well, here's the funny thing. On Epic, they give you the anniversary for free. Or you can buy it. I guess you can buy it now for like $15, but for like $10, you could pay like, or yeah, for $10 right now, you could buy like all the past DLCs except for the current one for $10. And I was like, well, it's cheaper to do that than it is to buy the 30th anniversary camp, thing or whatever. But looking into it again, I was like, well, let me look how much this stuff is because it is on sale, and they don't sell the deluxe edition with the 30th anniversary anymore. You have to buy them separate now because I think that was only a pre-order is the only time you could do that. And right on Steam, first thing was like, dude, he's like, I bought it. I was like, I've been playing, I took a little break, just needed a break from Destiny, took a little break, went and bought the Witch Queen content, but I didn't get the deluxe version because we're in the last season of the 4 seasons. So he's like, I didn't buy the deluxe version because that's like gives you all 3 seasons. And he's like, so I thought I had all the content, just not the, the season pass or whatever. He's like, which I was fine. I was enjoying. He says, until I found out that the 2 dungeons that are released during the 4 seasons, you can only get them if you buy the deluxe edition, which is $30 more. It's like, it's not, because I was sitting there thinking that too. I was like, well, how am I supposed to buy the dungeon if I don't buy season pass, year or season pass 2, which is obviously gone. You can't do that anymore. I was like, maybe once they release it, it's a part of the content. It's like, no, you have to buy the deluxe edition. And I was like, so this guy's like, he's like irate. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, are you kidding me, Bungie? It's like you are just, hand in every pocket, hand in every pocket, hand in every pocket. No good grace. Screw your players. Nobody, you don't care about them. It's like, and maybe he's a little harsh, but that's kind of why I stopped playing last year is because I felt like every turn, every corner I walked around, Bungie's there asking me for another $20, $40, $100, so I was like, it's like, so when I heard it's like, oh, play the content for free, I was like, all right, I'll play it for free. Again, I'll pick it up when it's $20 and I get everything. I don't care about the season pass crap. Like I'll pick it up when the content's $20 and I'll give them $20. But other than that, I don't really know what to say. So, but yeah, but it is sad because I really do. That's the thing is I really do enjoy playing it, and I don't feel like it needs to be free. But I feel like it's just dirty. It's just dirty. It sounds very. Who owns them
Sony
now?
like, doesn't it?
Oh, it's, no wonder why they get along so well.
Yep.
So I guess it just fits into that category, I guess, at this point in time. So
Through your customer category.
yeah. And the people who are diehard Destiny people who've bought the content every time it comes out and who play it every day and play no other game. That's the thing, because I haven't been gone. The current DLC is the only one I don't have, and I logged into play and I am lost on what is going on. No clue what is going on. And Armistice RJ got in. He's like, I haven't played this for like 2.5 years. He got in. He goes, why is all these dots all over my screen? He's like, I have no idea what's going on. I was like, welcome to Destiny. I said, this game is not for new players. Zero welcoming. Doesn't care. Go learn how to play it. That's destiny if you try to jump in right now. And he
Well,
was sitting there.
that's it's a live service game, Brum. Brun. It's intended that you play consistently
Yeah.
and all the time. It's not their fault that you come and go play other games on occasion. That's your problem.
Oh, is it? Isn't well? I mean, Fortnite's a live service. I know. Yeah. I know you're joking. I know you're joking, but you're actually half true. I mean, the same thing. I'd be a little lost if I jumped in Division 2 right now too. But besides the point. But I kind of told him, and we're playing the campaign. He's like running off in the corner. I'm like, where are you? He's like, I'm looking over here if there's any secret stuff. I'm like, they don't have secret stuff. He's like, you don't know unless you look. He's like, and I'm kind of a completionist. I said, okay, well, let me stop you right there. It's like, I was like, if you're a completionist in Destiny, you have already missed out. There's things that you'll see on your screen that you'll never be able to get ever
Yeah.
because you did not do them when they told you to play it. You have to
Didn't pay
play
them,
during
yeah.
this time. You have to do it, and you have to get it done by this time, or you don't get it, and it's gone, and it's grayed out, and it's just on your screen showing you didn't get this. So the people who are real completionists and have to have everything lit up like that, you might as well don't even buy it because you're not going to get it. It will just drive you. Your OCD will kick in, and it'll drive you nuts. so,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's. I
Oh.
mean, that's all I've been playing. Need to jump into some Battlefield 2 since the new season started there as well. But yeah, I think. Oh, and I did a round of Apex, like a couple rounds of Apex, because I haven't been in that in a long time. So boy, it's going to take some time to get back into that after playing Fortnite. Entirely two different strategies and games on that one. So,
yep. That's
That's
tough
it.
to jump. That's why I'm like, I picked one battle royale game and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind playing. I don't mind playing one or two, but it's like I do have to focus on. I have to focus on. I can't do like I'm going to do Apex today and Fortnite tomorrow and Warzone on Wednesday. It's like it's like I can't do that. It's like okay, I'm going to play a season of Apex. I'm going to play a season of Fortnite.
Yeah.
So yeah,
better.
Yep. But that's it for me.
So I also played. You mentioned that Solasta Crown of the Magistar a while back, and I tried it, and so it's fun. I like it because it really is like, man, it's like a true D&D game. It's really really neat. I mean, it's obviously dated, but I was having fun, but I didn't get very far into it, and so I had like this mission where I had to escape some kind of cave.
Yeah.
And right at the beginning, it was I think maybe the second mission, right? Or the first real mission after the training stuff.
Yeah, the caves are.
And I just kept dying and dying and dying. And there were so many of these freaking creatures that I was fighting, and they just kept annihilating me. And I was just getting so frustrated. And so I never really got very far. I actually today, I'm like, I'm gonna freaking try this thing again. And I got through it finally. And then was able to do some other stuff like advance. So I really enjoy the game. It is fun. I kind of almost wish that I was only controlling one person's inventory.
Oh.
4 of them is it's just like, oh, come on. And I mean, I found out today too. It's like I was in the middle of combat and my archer had no arrows.
Oh.
I was like, what? And it's like, oh man, you got to go and put the arrows, even if they're in the inventory, you got to put them in their
in the slots.
archery
Yeah, because you get
arrow slot.
Yeah, you get 2 slots. And that's what I am. I'm an archer. So yeah, I know what that is. But yeah, the guys always pick up the arrows and like, we're sending you arrows. I'm like, I don't need arrows. I got 500 arrows. It's like, it's kind of crazy. Like, but one thing I'll tell you is you'll find that like, if any of your characters can't wear metal or only wear light armor or have to do like specific things like that, there is until you start crafting like your own weapons and stuff like later on, all the weapons you're seeing are all the same weapon.
Yeah, that's what I've seen so far.
So you either just keep them and sell them, or you just don't even pick them up. And that's the thing is we do have Lieutenant Commander Shepard. He's like the the main guy. Well, and Drino as well. They play a lot of these games, so it's just like, you're like, do I need this? He's like, no. It's like, all right, stop asking. Okay, it's like, he just knows what he's doing. But when you say dated, it's like, I wouldn't say dated more than like it's not graphically like super awesome. But I think the team that
They,
made this is very small, like a very, very small development team. Like
I mean,
I
dated
have to
by,
look.
yeah, the way it looks like a 360 game.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that's due to the developer like size, like the number of people working on it. Because if you go and you look at like Baldur's Gate 3, which is like in alpha right now, that game
Uh-huh.
looks amazing compared and it's going 1.0 like early next year or something, and you can only play like act 1 if you do early access. It looks like stunning, like type of like Diablo level stunning. It's looks so good.
I'd have to check that out.
Yeah.
And what is that one called?
Baldur's Gate 3.
E3. Yeah, I've started to okay, well, so yeah, so anyways, I got past that, so I got a little bit further today and I was like, "Oh, thank goodness." So I'm about ready to go into right before the show started here. I was traveling to like my next main area. So I'm probably get back to that soon and play some more. Also, I did on the Division 2, I did get to level 100 in my season pass. So I was very happy about that. I've really enjoyed the Division 2. They're like on season 9. I think that's the first time I did a season, and they've got a bunch of events. Right, like the event going on right now is it's called Reanimated. So as you're running around killing people, they'll come back to life. As like basically kind of like a zombie, right? But and then they have like a different health bar, and that's brutal on your bosses. But now like they'll go down on the ground and they'll still be kind of highlighted in this like little green outline. So you can walk up to them and still shoot them so that they don't reanimate. Or if they reanimate, they get back up and they shoot at you. So it's not like a zombie where they come at you. I mean, they continue to shoot at you like a normal um, character. So you end up fighting them again. But if you hit them in the head, their head explodes in a cloud of green dust or something. It's just fun to see that happen. It's just really cool. But I think that season 9, I think, is wrapping up here in about 2 weeks. Um, but I did go through, I think I was telling you guys before about the Summit, which is this 100-floor
Yeah.
building, and you're going from the lobby all the way to the 100th floor. And the game really wasn't bad until the 100th floor. And I ended up having to do the call for help, and I finally got a guy in that hung around and helped, and it took us quite a bit of time. I mean, these bosses were brutal. We couldn't even come out of the little room that you're in. We were basically stuck in there. Because if you came out to the big area, like boom, they were like one-shotting you, and then it was insane. And we finally got them through a lot of what do you call it? Perseverance, I guess, on our part. It took a lot of patience. It took time. Oh, and we actually kind of lucked out too because um, I got taken down. So we got like down. There was like 3 or 4 bosses in there, big heavies. We got all of them down except for one, and the one last boss took me down. And so I was kind of trying to crawl back, but the boss was walking into the little area and was starting to shoot at the other guy, and he had nowhere to go. There's no cover. And it said I could respawn. Well, respawning in this game sometimes, especially in the summit, would like reset your level back to like the elevator where you come out. And I'm like, I don't want to restart and go through the first couple parts of this level to get to where we're at. But he was going to go down. I was like, well, and sometimes you'll spawn right back in the game. So I did it. I tried it. It put me right there in front of the boss. And he, just as I spawned back in, he killed the other guy. And I just unloaded. I just stood there and because I had this light machine gun called the Bullet King, and it's got 1,000 rounds. I don't have to reload. And I ended up killing the guy right before he got me. And that's what won us that. And it was like, oh my gosh, had I not respawned, we would have had to replay the whole thing. I mean, it was just perfect timing and the way, and I don't know if, and it seemed like the guy wasn't hitting me when he was shooting at me. And I don't know if it was because I spawned in. I don't know if it's because of where I was standing. I don't know if it was because, my bullets were kept kind of knocking him back a little bit and throwing off his shots. And I think I got in that right cycle where I could stand there and just unload on him and he couldn't get a shot on me. So, not consistently. And so it was like we did get it and got off that roof. And I was like, how? But it was crazy. Like you go through this 99 levels and I mean, there was challenging levels, but then that last one was insane. You needed people, and I was like, we're never going to get this with two, but we did. But I really feel we were lucky to get it. So really good time. If anyone wants to do that, I'm going back through it again. It's a good way to level up your season pass. It is fun, but anything else in the city too, if you want to play, just I'm more than happy to jump in. All right, so now I got to get into. Now we're still half hour in, and we haven't even finished what we've been playing, but that's okay because we only really have one big major topic to talk about. But I made a mistake, Brun
Uh-oh.
and Rob. You guys remember I told you a while back I was looking forward to Saints Row,
Oh, yeah.
and but that I was not necessarily a fan of the original Saints Row games because they were more of like a GTA clones, and I'm not real fans of GTA, but like Saints Row 3 and 4. 3 was my favorite. I absolutely loved it. It was so crazy, over the top, just like stupid, crazy fun. And 4 was the same thing, but it was more 4 felt more of like a reskin of 3, like a 3.5 or something. I felt it was just like, let's just remake this and change it a little bit. So it really wasn't as fun. But this game, I've watched the trailers and I'm like, this just looks insane. This looks crazy over the top. I know it's a reboot of the original Saints Row, but so I bought the bullet and I bought I bought like the big pack. The expensive one. I got the deluxe, not the biggest one. It was like $100 because that gives you like Saints Row 3. I'm like, well, I don't need to play that again. So I bought like the $80 pack or something, free DLC and all that. So I launched the game, start playing the night it's available. And honestly, I'm just right out the gate. I was like, what the beep? I'm like, did I download the wrong game? Is this like, it is so bad. It is so bad.
How
In
bad is
so
it?
many ways. Oh, it is so bad. Let me tell you. It's so bad in so many ways that I don't even know if I can capture everything here. But to start off with, they had like it was interesting because there was like a performance when you're setting it up. It's like, oh, how do you want the performance? You can set this. In fact, let me pull up the article. There's like 4 different performance modes for like the Series X version, and you can go up as high as like 2000. What is it? 2048 pro performance Series X. I remember seeing an article about it too, but I was like, um, oh, I'm probably not going to be able to find what I want. But anyways, like you can select, and there's like 1080p, there's 1440, there's what is this? 20. Let's see. So in the Series XS and PlayStation 5 offers 5 fixed modes, along with 2 that enable you to turn ray tracing, ambient occlusion on or off, totaling 7 permutations. So there's 2 1920 by 1080p modes, 2 1440p modes, and a single mode for 4K. This means you pick your preference: more pixels, more performance, or better pixel qualities. So I started out like on the high end, right? And the game looked terrible. I'm like, this looks like garbage. And the movement, this is it's like this was the way games worked back on the 360 or maybe even the original Xbox. Like the movement of this game is so janky. Like you feel I got the feeling, and it's hard for me to maybe express this in words of how horrible I thought this was, but I felt like you could move forward, backward, left, or right. But when you're moving left or right, you're still facing. You know what I mean? It's like like a what the two axes. That's it. It's like that. That's all you can move. It's like you feel like it's so like rigid, and it's like you don't have the smooth fluidity of movement, and you don't feel like you're able to move around like you do in a modern game. And for this to be releasing now on these current consoles, um, just like it's like probably the original Saints Row control scheme and the way it fights and everything is it's like this was completely unexpected. Um, I really the based on the way the game looked in the trailers, I'm like, this is going to be fun, and I expected it, to be more modernized. I feel like they took the original game. So remember, like with Diablo 2, the remaster, or whatever. Did you play that one? Either of you guys?
Yeah,
I did not.
You did, Rob?
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so there was a huge difference between Diablo 3 and then that Diablo 2 remaster, whatever. The way it controlled, the way it moved, the way that like that it looked. It's like you go in and it's like it's a new game and they totally all HD remake and everything, but they kept everything like original. To the fact that I don't even play it. Like I can't even play it because it's so janky that and I love Diablo 3. I was like I played that so much and multiple times and bringing every character to level 70 and plus multiple times on different platforms, the 360, the Xbox One, and now I'm waiting for Diablo 4. I was so excited for 2 and it was terrible. That's what like the Saints Row game is like. It's just it's so bad. The control, the movement, the animations, everything is so bad that it's like it ruins the experience. And then so I even took down and I noticed it was seeming a bit on the 4K. I was like it was like I felt like it was not smooth. So I'm like, let me drop it down to 1080p and just see if I can smooth it out. It didn't seem to change anything visually. Like the game still looked identical. Think it might have made a tiny bit of improvement on the way the movement was, but it's still terrible. And so I was like going through it, and everything just looks bad. The driving's bad. The map is boring. It's like there's just not much happening. It's like you're more about in like a desert area, and even when you get into the big town, it doesn't feel alive. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like, Saints Row 5 is or not Saints Row, GTA 5, like I played a little bit of it and it's like the world feels real. Everything looks so good. And that game looks better than this game does. And that's been out how many years now? It's just it's just so I think visually it looks terrible. I think that the controls are absolutely horrible. One thing I've noticed it does is if you get your cursor, it does like an auto lock, which you need for this game. That's how bad it is. So if you get your cursor close and you pull your left trigger, it'll lock onto them, and then you just hit your right trigger and shoot them till they're dead. I use that a lot because it's just terrible. Um, the there was an area. See, there's a lot of glitches, a lot of bugs. Characters sticking out of walls, um, all kinds of weird crap like that should be fixed. Like, so for example, I went to rescue one of my teammates the other day. He was tied up in a chair after I beat all the bad guys. I walk up to the chair. It's like, you're supposed to go up there to untie him. So as I'm walking up to him, all of a sudden, he's no longer in the chair and he's on the ground flopping around. I was like, what the heck just happened? And then all of a sudden, he was back in the chair again. I hit the button to untie him, and all of a sudden he flops back on the ground again, and he's flopping like a dead fish. And then he gets himself up and starts talking to you, and I'm just like, "What the heck just happened?" Like Saints Row and Volition, this developer's been around long enough, and this game went gold like 2 months ago. I remember them talking about how Saints Row went gold way before its release date. And it has had some updates already, and this is the stuff that's still happening. Like, this was post of their latest patch. And there's so many weird, crazy glitches and stuff in this game. It's just like, this is not, you know, I hope people don't waste their time. And they got really bad reviews. And I remember the day the day before it released, the reviews were allowed and they weren't good. They were hitting like 50s and 60s for reviewers. And I started to read one. I was like, nope, I'm not going to, because, I don't like, I paid for it. I've been looking forward to it. Let me draw my own opinion. The opening scene already, I was like, oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. Now, I will say this much. I have continued to play it despite how horrible it really is. There's moments that I do have fun. And because I paid the money, I'm gonna try to work my way through this game. But I told people on our Facebook group, if you didn't buy it yet, I highly recommend you watch the playthrough on a Twitch. You pay attention to the reviews for this one. I told people tune in today because I didn't say anything yet. I'm like, tune in, you'll get my thoughts on today's episode. But I highly recommend people check it out first before you buy it if you haven't bought it. In my opinion, this game is not ready, not worth the money. Don't buy into the 4K hype of, you can play in that mode, because it doesn't look good at all. This game is very, now if you like the old Saints Row and the way it controlled and the way it looked and the jankiness, then you might enjoy this. But again, to me, this is not ready. This game's visually, and the controls, I think they should have. I wish I would have known it was going to be like that. I think this game needs to bake a little bit longer that type of stuff. I think they should have. It could have looked visually better. This game could easily have been controlled better. I'm really surprised that a good developer put out such a poor game, in my opinion. I'm not a developer, so I just feel in today's day and age with what we have, this stuff should be in a better state. Uh, and as long as it wasn't like they just went gold the other day. They've had a couple of months to get that day one patch to fix a lot of these things, and I just don't feel like they've done that. So I gonna continue to play it here and there, but it will be one of those a little bit at a time. And Yeah, I can't personally recommend it. I'm not happy. I wish I had not purchased it. Thumbs down for me. But
All right.
that's it. Oh, I did want to say, out of video gaming, I did join some friends and started to play Magic the Gathering. I did play that this last week. I'm gonna start doing that with this group. They get together very frequently, so I'm gonna dive into the world of Magic. So I've been playing some Magic the Gathering Arena online on my PC. I'm actually playing a game on my PC.
Yay!
So yay! So I bought some cards, but I've been doing the arena on my PC so that I can actually try to learn the game. And I think Magic the Gathering Arena is really poor way. It's really poor explaining the game to you. They do a terrible job, and you'd think that they would have everybody explain it best. But the good thing is by going through it and watching some videos on YouTube about people trying to explain the game. When I went that first time, when the guy that was explaining a lot, we did like a mock game, and a lot of things he was saying was like, okay, I know what this means, I know what that means, and then we played like with four of us, and we actually took the main guy out, who's like the big Magic guy. He went out first, and then it got down to me and the other two, and one of the other guys is new like me. The other one is pretty experienced, and it was just like it got to me, and I could take out one of the other two. I had enough to take them out, one of them. But it was one of those, if I, what do I do? Do I take one out? Then I'm probably going to leave myself vulnerable to the other person. Um, or do I just pick away a little bit or just like wait and let it go? But then it was one of these things. It's like, I better, better basically go on attack. And one of the guys said in that with Magic, he's like, you find out you really have to go on the offensive in this game. He's like, people that tend to sit around and try to protect themselves get destroyed.
Yeah.
So I
Turtling.
was thinking of that, and I was like, all right. So I went and took one guy out, and then the next turn,
Yep.
the guy that was left wiped me out. So, but it was fun, and it was just like sitting there, like, what do I do? What do I do? So,
Yeah.
I did play that, and then also, I know I was out last week. I actually been wanting to play some actual real D&D. Played with my kids a while back, and they've been in a permanent rest for a long time. We never got back to it. Well, I've now decided my kids and I are going to play every Sunday evening. It's game night, and we're going to be playing, going to continue our journey. So tonight we're actually after dinner going to continue our journey in the world of D&D and play more of that. So I'm really excited to get back there and have them just play that with them. So
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah. Magic. My buddy John, this is 1998, and I can tell you know when it was 1998. My buddy John, he was liked Magic, so he had all these Magic cards. Like I mean, Magic was relatively new. I think back in the day, back then. Um,
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, blue deck, green deck. Like he had like all the different colored decks and like a mixed deck, and like he had just all these cards, and of course he played sports with me, and our senior year he was in a car accident, was killed in a car accident. And I always think about like him trying to teach me to play Magic. And the only time I've actually played Magic is when it was like on the 360, like you said, the Magic games on when they were on the console. Because I've never like wanted to go back and try to learn like card wise, because I just felt bad. Like, it just made me feel crappy. You know what I mean? But somebody just said something about Magic cards not too long ago. I think it was Eevee. And all I can think about is like, I bet my buddy John's cards are still at his parents' house in
Wow.
his case, and all those cards. And I almost want to like be like, hey, don't throw those away. Like you might want to
Yeah.
find somebody that is interested in Magic to, figure out if you can get anything out of those, because they're probably all like, early generation cards and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
That I'll tell you that the game is really, there's a lot to it.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot to just the game. And then as a new person coming in, it's like, well, you've got all these different, I call them like expansions.
Yep.
And it's like, well,
Yep.
how do they, like, I'm looking for a Magic the Gathering booster pack. I bought a starter pack. It
Yeah.
has like 2 decks. And the guy, so I went into one of the stores and I was just like, okay, dude, you need to explain this to me. And I was like, I'm brand new. I'm trying to figure this out. I just want like boosters, but everything's got these weird names to it. And so he was, and then it's like the official Magic, like they only support like this year and last year's cards, and then
Yep.
they're retired from it. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to ever be in a tournament. This is just playing with friends or my kids. And, but he's like, yeah, otherwise you can kind of mix and stuff. But I guess there's cards that have been like, they're too powerful. So they've basically been like, I don't remember if they called it banned. I don't think it was banned, but there's a name where
They're
it's
like
like
vaulted. Like a vault. They're like vaulted.
something like that. Like
basically.
you're not supposed to use it anymore. And there's a bunch of those.
Yeah.
It's just like there's so much to it. So, but yeah, I'm gonna diving into that a little bit more.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, best thing to do is just go out and buy a box.
I
Which
did.
is,
I bought a D&D box actually.
I meant a Magic box. So it's just going to have a whole bunch of booster packs in it. So,
Yeah, that's what this had.
yeah. So whatever it is, like 20, 30 of them, 25 in the
Yeah.
box. And then you just open them all, see what cards you got, kind of sort them. And the thing is, every single, I'll say, release will typically have certain cards that like work well together. They have
Uh-huh.
they have like synergies, like use one card and it'll set up a situation that you can use another card to like really ding the other player or whatever. And a big part of the game is actually learning those synergies. And like when I was at Gen Con a couple years back with my son and some friends, like we did this thing where you open up a certain amount of cards and it's like you go through and you build your deck and you're like, oh, this is a cool card, I'll take this one. Oh, this is
Yeah.
a cool card, I'll take this one. But then that's like making dinner
That's what they
going,
call a draft.
right, yeah, that's like
Yeah.
making dinner and go, I like shrimp, I like popcorn, I like Doritos. And then you wouldn't eat shrimp, popcorn, Doritos all together. Or maybe you would, I don't know. But yeah, a big part of it is actually um, you know, just figuring out which cards work together, which ones don't. Because the thing that we learned in the draft was, I mean, we just got our butts handed to us because, everybody else knew what they were doing and we were like, we didn't know what was going on or what worked well with each other. And, but knowing what cards work together, I mean, you can make a pretty good, strong deck. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, buy that box of boosters, and it's actually kind of fun, opening them up and getting the cards, and some people just love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It is. It's so I'm looking forward to playing again, but right now I got a bunch of cards that I gotta kind of go through and yeah, okay, what's what and what do I want to put in as a deck to play and trying different things. So, and one of the decks I bought like gives you codes so I can put it in Arena and that
Hmm.
deck shows up in Arena
Nice.
so I can play it there too.
Yeah.
Um, which is kind of cool because then I can play against, a bot and see how things work together, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, you can go to Anchor FM, anchor.fm/ this Xbox Life to send us a voicemail message or to donate to the show. Special thanks to Michael Tracy for being a supporter of us on Anchor. Really appreciate that. Um, you can email us at contact@thisxboxlife.com or visit us at discord.thisxboxlife.com. And of course on facebook.com/groups/this Xbox Life. Smash that like button. All right. We didn't get any voicemails or emails this week, so we're going to move into the news. And before Brun can start, I'm going to get this out. This actually was going to be a rant this week, but we really when we all got together today, it's like there's really nothing to talk about except what are you thinking, Sony? I know we're an Xbox show, but we've really got to discuss this because this is unprecedented. Well, not necessarily. I mean, Sony's not the first to do it, but they are certainly the second one to do it. Um, so, if you guys recall, a couple months ago, um, Meta used to be called Quest or Facebook. The Oculus Quest headset, virtual reality headset. Meta said they're going to increase the prices of the headset. I think it was on August 1st of this year by $100.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was like, what? Yeah, good luck getting people to buy your freaking
So 4.99.
virtual headset now.
It was like,
Yeah. They went up $100
Mhm.
for both the 128 and the 256 version. They both went up $100. And so Sony announced this week, officially effective immediately, that they are raising the prices of their PS5 console in all markets except in the United States. So basically, everywhere in the world except the US, this thing is going up in price. And so I'm going to read what I wrote here. Might be the best because otherwise I'm going to just jump around. But I really believe that Sony is finally starting to show their true colors. They are not about the gamers. Now, I know we have been saying this for a long time. Companies are in business to make money. You know, but when the world is dealing with supply shortages, loss of jobs, inflation across the board, we're still feeling the impact of 2 years of COVID. Now is not the time to pass on your costs to your customers, especially when you just posted $1 billion profit. WTH, Sony. You raised your game prices, you raised your console price 2 years later with no changes or improvement in the hardware. Normally, the hardware gets improved and then the price is lowered. And now there's talk of you raising the price on your services before the end of the year. Yeah, and then I mentioned that you raised your price on every market except the US. Why is that? Well, that's because Microsoft actually gives you massive competition in the US. And if you raise the price here, Microsoft will only expand their market share even more. And all I can say is I hope that happens in other markets. Um, Now my question is, are the ponies finally going to stand up to Sony? Or are they going to continue to do what they've always done and make excuses and drink the Kool-Aid? Right now, so far, I am seeing a lot of people making excuses like they always have. Um, but some people are finally starting to express some anger at Sony. The problem is it's maybe for the wrong reasons. Like they're mad that Sony's bringing exclusives to PCs, but not raising the prices of everything that their customers use. Now, lastly, good news for us, Microsoft, and good news for Nintendo customers have both come out to say that they are not going to raise their prices, or that they're, to quote Microsoft, they have, I think it was, I guess I can't quote it, I don't have it in front of me, but they have no intent to raise their prices. So basically, both companies have said they're not going to raise their prices, aka they're not going to screw over their customers like Sony. End the rant.
Yeah.
Rob, let me hit
Yeah.
Rob up
Yeah,
first
yeah,
because I know
Rob can go first.
Brun, I know Brun's stewing.
Yeah.
Let you stew a little longer.
Nice.
Come on, Rob. What do you think about this Sony raising the price on their console by basically roughly about $50 in every market except the US after 2 years with no change to the hardware when they just posted $1 billion profit?
Well, with work, I guess I deal with a lot of hardware supply chain issues and stuff like that. So to some degree, it's not surprising that companies are raising the prices of things. Like, heck, my son and I, we went out to dinner at Five Guys. It was $30 for two people. It used to be
Yeah.
like less than 25, like 2 years ago. Cheaper, like gas and other
Food is
things.
insane right now.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's not surprising that the cost of stuff is going up. We'll see that across the board. But a company has to make a decision, right? Are they going to pass on stuff to the consumer? And the answer is always yes. It's always yes. Doesn't matter what it is.
Not always.
Not always.
Not
It
always.
always is eventually. Like stuff that you hear in the news, like, oh, the rich, we need to raise price, we need to tax them and stuff like that, and we need to tax companies. It's like, no, well, you tax the company, they increase their prices, you just pay for it anyway.
Right. That's about to happen
Yeah,
because of never mind. We won't go into that because that's a political thing. But
yeah,
Yeah, nope.
yeah, here in the US, we're all about to get hosed.
yes, but you know, to some degree, it's not surprising that they do it. I think a lot more of this stuff is coming up. They just happened to be one of the first ones to do it. And, it sucks for the Sony people, but, they'll probably just, find some stupid reasons why that's okay.
But Rob,
Yeah.
they just made $1 billion profit.
Yes.
Now, I don't expect companies. I get it. I'm like, they're in the business to make money. I
Mhm.
agree. But when you already have a lot of negative PR aimed at you, when you are posting $1 billion in profit, why say that we've made this quote hard decision to have to pass this on to our customers? So, in other words, Sony's like, we're not going to pay it. We're going to make our customers pay for it. Now, there is a price of doing business. There is a cost of doing business. And to me, this is that cost. This is like to say that any tax increase we get, we're going to make the customer pay for it, just like what you just said. Any cost of that our costs go up, we're going to pass it on. No, you're in the business to sell consoles. You're in the business to make, to do your services and your games. You're making massive profit at a time that is probably the worst that's been felt around in the world in a very long time. You're going to raise the prices of everything across the board, and you're and game publishers like $70 a game. Sony is making that extra $10 even if they don't publish the game.
Yep.
Even if they don't make the game themselves. The developers are not getting that extra $10. They don't see that.
Right.
Again, it's Sony is pocketing that money and claiming that, oh, well, it's hard. The costs have gone up and we need this. You just made $1 billion profit.
Yeah.
How much money do you need to profit? Like, so I want to throw it this way. Let me go at this angle because what I always hear, like Braun made a comment about it a minute ago, very similar, is when does Sony pay their fair share? What, you know what I mean? How much money do they have to have before they decide, let's stop screwing our customers? Now, and this is not a anti-Sony rant. I know all three of us have had Sony systems. We may still have them. This is because I'm very great. Thank goodness Microsoft and Nintendo said no, because I don't think it's right. And I really think Sony's going down. I really think this is going to hurt them. Finally, I think they're doing enough. And if,
people are going to make excuses
$70,
for them regardless. Yeah.
but they're getting, they've already increased to $70, which others are starting to follow. Microsoft still hasn't done that. They're still keeping their games at 60.
Yeah.
Nintendo hasn't. I don't think Nintendo's raised their games to 70. I think they're down to what? Aren't they at 50 or maybe 60
cheaper.
for the?
Yeah, they were like
for the Switch
40 for a while.
But like Nintendo's got. Talk about the love that people have for PlayStation. Nintendo has it by leaps and bounds over PlayStation.
Oh, Nintendo!
Everybody loves Nintendo.
Nintendo could sell a game for $150, and people are like, oh, that's a bargain. It's like,
exactly, and they're not doing it. So that's
true.
The thing. It's like we've talked about Sony, like in Braun, you talked about earlier about Destiny.
Yep.
And how that company screwed, and we've talked about Destiny and Bungie screwing over their customers for years. And wow, look at, they're still continuing it. And who bought them? Sony. Why? That's why.
Yeah.
It fits their philosophy of screw over your customers, milk them for every penny and dime nickel you can get out of them. And eventually it's got to hit where these people are like, wait a minute, how much do I got to pay? Why am I paying more? Times are hard. The last 2 years has been a boon for gaming. That's the thing too. It's like in the COVID and everybody's at home, gaming took a huge profit. Like Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo saw money they hadn't seen in years because everyone's stuck at home. You couldn't go out to do anything. Video games really took a leap and a bound over everything. And a lot of people spent a lot of money on video games.
Yeah, but the thing though is, I think out of us three, I'm the only one that's in sales, and the thing about sales is that
because Braun and I are nice guys.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you did last quarter or last year. Does not matter at all. If you actually did good, they increase your goal for the following quarter, year, whatever. So the fact that it was crazy back then, like they're making fistfuls of money, they want more now. They want more market share. They want more money for, the current quarter,
What
the
do we
current
call
year.
that? What do we call that when you want more money?
Greedy.
There's one. Thank you. Greed.
Well, I mean,
You're,
you
see,
said it. You said it earlier, though. A company's number one goal is to make money. We know that. Like, we're not silly. We're not saying that Sony. Oh, like Sony, you shouldn't make $1 billion profit. Like really, the way I see this is like Sony's like, we made $1 billion. You know what's better than $1 billion profit? $2
2
billion
billion.
profit. You know what I mean? It's like, that's I think what Rob's getting at. It's like,
yeah, but
they're looking. It's like,
the thing
ugh,
too. Sorry to interrupt. The thing too,
oh no,
though,
no,
is labeling greed is putting an emotion into something. There is no
yeah,
emotion to this. This is boxes in
yep,
a spreadsheet. That's all
yep,
it is. Executives look at it and go, okay, this is what you did last quarter. This is what you did last year, whatever it is. Okay, 8% more. That's what we want.
yeah,
That has nothing to do with emotion, nothing to do with anything. And, basically, when it comes to these executives that have to deliver stuff, it's either you meet that goal or they find somebody else that'll do it
yep,
instead of you.
yeah.
And
People.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, so people have to talk. Like, so you're right. I mean, Rob's right. It's like and that's I think. Well, Wing's right too. Is like
Mhm.
Sony doesn't care. They don't care how they have to get that extra 8% or whatever number you want. Like they just want to. We don't care. What excuse can we find to make more money? And the excuse now is the economy. Like or
Sure.
inflation and stuff like that. That's their excuse. They're taking that excuse because the whole thing is we know Sony's broke. They have. I mean, I know they're saying $1 billion profit, but they're spending their money. They're not finding better ways to make money. Like putting your games on PC day one and making that money. Like stuff's coming around. We talked about it like a couple weeks ago. Like stuff's coming around now that they've done for years, never adapted, and now it's coming back to bite them. So how do they counteract that? It's like, well, we got to pass our dumb decisions to our customers or future customers because it's future customers, by the way. It's not current customers. It's future customers because everybody else who's defending them already has a PS5. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's only $20. If it's not that big of a deal, then why are they passing it to you? Why are they passing it down? That type of thing. And the $70 game thing, they did the $70 game, and their excuse then was, we're making our game $70 because games cost more to make. And remember, their games cost millions and millions of dollars to make because they don't rush it. They let it, they can spin the world because all we make's tens. You know what I mean? Well, the thing is, they did that, and then COVID hit because they already made that decision, and then this inflation and stuff is already sucked up that extra $10. So the rumor is their games are going to be $80 here soon.
Oh, wow.
So the rumor is they're also going to be increasing their games because again, Mark said it in his thing when he read this, and I don't have much more to say than what Mark said because he said it. I
Mhm.
mean, basically what I was going to say too, but they're increasing their PS Plus. They just released it and they're increasing the price of it. Well, but the thing is, they're increasing the price of it, and what's their excuse? Well, we're increasing it to where Microsoft has it. Like that's what
Their
Microsoft has it, but
services and they've got their top tier is more
I
expensive than
know
what Microsoft does
it's their
and doesn't even
lower.
offer it
Yeah.
doesn't even offer what Microsoft gives.
Yeah, but they're it's their yearly tier and their 3-month tier, I think, is where they're raising their price. And the thing is that their excuse was, well, Microsoft has theirs, so we're just raising ours to where theirs is. Well, yes, that's true. Microsoft has had theirs there that way, but Microsoft moved theirs up to make people leave it to join Game Pass. Is why they raised
Yeah.
theirs. So the thing is like Microsoft in a way is they're mooching off the people who refuse to move to Game Pass. And I guess Sony right here is mooching off the people who refuse to go buy the console they couldn't get. And they're using it because they know people really want these consoles. They're like, people want them so bad, we could charge $1,000. And that's the other reason. It's like they've probably heard people talk on the media, in the media and everything. Like, dude, we pay $800 to get a PlayStation right now. And Sony's like, you'd pay what?
Yeah.
$800, you say? Okay. And the other rumor is the console was probably to be sold more than what they're raising the price up to now as well. The only reason why it was lower is because they couldn't pull a Microsoft and put out a price and then get undercut by $100 because that destroyed Xbox when PS4 came under $100.
Yeah.
What Microsoft do the $100 for? Oh, for the dumb Connect.
Yeah, it doesn't even exist anymore.
It doesn't exist
and wasn't
anymore.
wasn't even used in that platform that they forced it on.
Yeah, but did we defend them? Did we go out there and be like, but guys, it's the Connect. It can see my fingers.
No.
Like, no, we didn't. No, it was dumb. It was dumb.
Yeah.
And the thing
we complained about it.
Yeah. So that's the thing is and again, just negative press after negative press after negative press for Sony. And like I jokingly say they're broke. Because every time I see them, they're doing something and just charging the rear end. And people call them like the Apple of gaming or whatever. You know what I mean? Because Apple charges premium prices for their products. But I hate to tell you, the PlayStation is not a premium product. The Series X is not a premium product. They're products. Like, to be premium, there has to be non-premium versions of them. And last time I checked, there isn't a really, really crappy gaming console out there where Xbox and Sony are better than, I mean, hell, the Xbox is actually better than the PlayStation if you just want to look at the raw numbers. The Xbox Series X is actually the premium version if you want to think about it that way.
Yeah, you can buy if you got a new customer who says I want to get a console. What's the best one out there? Okay, so the best based on hardware specs, like you said, is the Series S, and you can now get it cheaper than the PS5.
Yeah.
So Microsoft has the most powerful piece of hardware out there, and it's not the most expensive.
Right.
So it is very interesting, but I think the whole thing about this is you talked about Sony is more than PlayStation.
Yes.
Sony's involved in a lot of things. But my understanding of Sony financially is that Sony, if you were to remove PlayStation from Sony,
they'd be gone.
Sony probably would be gone. They're suffering in every department. The only one that does good is PlayStation. And that's where I kind of wonder about, like, Sony, what are you doing? What are you thinking? If these decisions are coming from Sony corporate and where they're just like, how are we going to save our company? Okay, where do we get the most money? Let's milk it for more to try to save the rest of Sony. That is screwing over your customers.
Yeah.
And maybe what needs to do is Sony just should just be like, you know what, we're just gonna sell everything else off and just be PlayStation, or sell PlayStation off to someone else, and then Sony can have money to try to revive their name. But it just doesn't sit good with me when a company. Like I said, I know they're out to make money. Like my company as well is doing fabulous right now. Our crap costs a lot of money, and I don't expect us to drop our prices, but I don't also expect our company to jack the price up by as much as 20% and then do it in every level because, well, it's harder to get chips.
Yeah.
That everybody's having that.
Yep.
And it's like there is a cost of doing business. And the thought here is for you to pass everything on to your customers just doesn't sit right with me. I expect you to make profit, and you are. So why do you gotta and okay, so I've said that a bunch of times. But what about, and I'm gonna Rob, I want to ask you about this one. Don't you think that, yes, they want to make money, and I get that. Okay, so Sony corporate's like, we need to make more money. Let's make PlayStation, bring in more because they're profitable. We want more out of them. Let's go to the well that is producing. That's all sounds great on a spreadsheet, but the flip side is the PR hit that they are now taking. Do you expect, do you honestly, I mean, I know we got the ponies are going to make up the excuses, but do you think that at this time in the world, do you think this could hurt them financially because they're trying to go to the back to the well and get even more? This is the PR, because it's adding up. I mean, Sony's had nothing but negative press the last couple of months, and then now this one.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a good point. That's a good question. I'll say, business side response to that, and I'm not saying that I am business, but from the business point of view, they made this decision not on a whim. It involved focus groups. It involved meetings upon meetings upon meetings. Let's have a meeting to talk about a meeting to talk about a meeting.
Yeah.
There's so many of those involved.
That's
This was
true.
not done on a whim.
Yep.
They analyzed everything. The thing is that there are certain voices that are complaining about this. In the end, they don't matter. And the price change is going to happen. And then for somebody that wants a PlayStation, either you want it at that
Or you
price
don't.
or you don't.
Well, yeah.
And if it's still cheaper than buying it from a scalper, then you, the customer, I guess, then maybe that's part of it. They're seeing what the scalpers are getting, which to me, that's where they need to focus their efforts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it
Get your
would be
product
nice,
to your
wouldn't it?
customer and stop getting out. But again, this could feed that. Well, if the scalpers get it and they're selling them for 1,000, us jacking our price up by $50 is no big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw some funny memes where it was like the thing from not where he's like, it was like Sony's like, I'm the scalper now. Like it was like a thing from that movie. He's like, I'm the scalper now.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you another funny meme that I thought was the funniest one
Maybe.
ever. But one thing I want to say is I think it's crappy. I feel bad for the people because I feel like this isn't the end from them. There's going to be more, and that's where I feel like. But if people keep making excuses for them and keep just accepting it, it'll just continue to happen. Like if you give a bully your lunch money because he says, "Give me your lunch money," you know what? He's coming back the next day and he's like, "Give me your lunch money again." Not until you stand up for yourself, or is he going to stop coming for your lunch money? You know what I mean? It's going to be
Yeah.
inevitable.
Yeah.
For somebody who was younger and got picked on, I'm telling you, it doesn't stop unless you fight back. Just saying. But one other thing I'll say this happens as far as a PR standpoint. Guess what we will not be seeing in the future, or at least I hope we don't see any future from Sony. I don't see any news coming down the thing of them purchasing any more studios, purchasing to block any more third-party exclusives, not purchasing rights for exclusives for their console. I don't see any of that coming down the road now.
No, it'll be there.
Oh, I don't see how.
It'll be there.
Okay, fine. Guess what the first comments are going to be to people? You're charging us more, but yet you can go pay such and such to keep a game off some platform?
3.6 billion to Bungie.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, can you imagine, like, oh, we bought Square Enix. What in the hell did you buy Square Enix for? Sorry, the language, but what'd you buy Square Enix with? You're broke. Is the console going to go up another $10 so we can help pay for your purchase of Square Enix now? Or is our games going to go up $10 more? Like I said, the rumor is they're going to go to 80. On the before it's all said and done, it'll be $80. Is what the rumor. But I'm just saying, it's like this right here, as far as
That sucks.
Rob's right. Rob's right. It's like they don't care. It's a spreadsheet, and negative press is 100% negative press. But my thing is like they're pinning themselves to where it's like everything where where they buy something now is going to be 100% negative. There's no positive
Well,
that comes out of it.
but so you look at the cost of a console, right? It's like, okay, who shoulders that cost? And I mean, how long's the PlayStation been out? It's over a year,
2
right?
years.
2
Two
years.
years? Okay.
Mhm.
Man, this time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's been out for almost 2 years, right? Because I guess they both, well, Xbox and PlayStation came out in what,
Like
November?
Yeah,
November?
November.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
few years
October,
ago. All
November.
right.
Yeah.
So the majority of people that want a PlayStation already have it. The
Yeah.
people that are
Yeah.
getting dinged are new adopters for the
That's what I
most
said.
part,
Yeah.
I think.
New people. Yeah.
Right. So the
I
majority,
don't agree that it's necessarily new people.
right?
Sorry, I don't
People,
mean to cut you
people,
off because there's people that are PlayStation 3 and 4 customers that haven't been able to find one and
true.
didn't wanna pay scalper prices, are still looking for one and can't find one because you just don't find them.
I would
Same with
agree with
Series
it if
X.
they were sitting on the shelves. I would agree with what Rob's saying. It's like they're for the new people. Like, but they're still
Yeah,
their whole thing. Sony's doing
yeah,
this knowing as soon as they hit the shelf, they're gone. Because
right. But
people are
they're
going to pay for them. Yeah,
but they're gone at the old price or the new price. It doesn't
new
matter.
price. They have to be gone at the new price. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
people
Old
are
or
going to
new.
buy them no matter what because it's the thing of like you either want it or you don't.
Yep,
It's like, do you
yep,
want to go to this concert that's sold out? Then you pay the scalper price. If not, you don't go. What's the price of admission? And the
yeah,
price of admission into the Sony ecosystem for new people, or if you're getting additional consoles or whatever, is now more.
yeah,
And I think that, you know, the I have a very poor view of news sites because they tend to make big deals of things a
yeah.
lot of times which aren't a big deal. And let me rephrase that. Not that they're not a big deal, but they sensationalize stuff that normally wouldn't
Oh,
be as
yeah.
huge of a
Oh
deal,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
They spin it in such a way like, oh my God, you know,
Like I did. "You just posted $1 billion, you're screwing us over."
yeah, it's
yeah.
like,
I just sensationalized it. You caught me.
okay, it's sure, okay. I wasn't even thinking that, but all right. But little Timmy is gonna have to pay $50 more of his lunch money. He's gonna have to
Mhm.
go without his lunch. Well, you know what? If you can't afford the $50, maybe you shouldn't have it in the first place.
True. Don't buy it. Right.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like don't get it
Speak with your
now.
wallet. Right.
And sometimes, I mean, I've fallen prey to this tactic. The price is going up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I got to go find one now.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I know what you're
Yeah.
saying. I mean, everything's. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, I've
But
also heard the thing of cost of doing business as well. I mean, if you're in the
sure.
business of making consoles and consoles sell at a loss, they know what the cost of business is. They should get out. They should get out of the console business if they can't. I don't know, take a hit a little bit
Well,
for
Yeah,
their
pull a
for
well,
their
the
Sega.
thing
for their
Pull a
fans.
Sega.
You
but
know
they
what I mean?
weren't
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Sony's not taking a lot. They said they were making money, um, on the PS5, that they're not selling it at a loss.
I'd beg to differ now.
Yeah. It's 2 years later.
Yep. I would
But
definitely think something's changed, or they wouldn't have done this.
so so okay, then this just brings another question. Again, maybe I'm just being like, okay, how can I pick on Sony? Maybe, maybe it's there. So if you know that you're going to make more money, so I got 100 boxes here, piece of plastic, ready to ship. Am I going to ship them to the US for $4.99? Or am I going to ship them to Asia where I can make an extra $50 a box because the
Now
price went up over there?
If it
yeah, they're
wasn't for
going
if it wasn't for
elsewhere.
Microsoft, in my opinion, if it wasn't for Microsoft being their, I'll say, biggest competitor in the United States,
Right.
they would have done it
Mhm.
globally.
Oh, exactly. We know why
Oh
they
yeah,
didn't do it
Yeah.
here. But now Sony corporate, we got to ship all these consoles from the factory. Where do you send them now?
it's gonna be one for you, one for me, two for you, and then it's like
1, 2.
1, 2
One
for me,
for
three for you, 1, 2, 3 for me. It's gonna be
I
one of
just
those things.
I think the US is going to make, I think in the States, it will be harder to find the PlayStation 5 now.
Yeah. Well, there's
Because
yeah.
because why sell it if it's selling at a loss and you can make the money up somewhere else and there's demand elsewhere, why would you send a bunch to a place that you're not going to make the money on? Right? Because we said companies are in the business to make money. That would kind of lead you to believe they're going to send the bulk of the consoles to every other market other than the US. But again, the flip side is Microsoft gets to continue to take market share in this area. So
I
I
don't
just wonder if this will change the amount of consoles that come to the US.
Yeah, I don't think it will, because the other thing is too, and this is the part of getting into like economics and stuff. But a lot of this stuff is based off of the US dollar, and the US dollar is like very strong right now. So, selling it at a normal price here and not raise, and that's the other reason why they're saying it might not have raised in the US, because, all these other areas or whatever, their currency compared to the dollar is dropping, because that's where everything is. So if the dollar is the standard, the US dollar is the standard, the reason why they're going up in those ones is to make it the same amount as what it is in the United States. So it's like there's a thousand things like that, but I don't think that's going to change as far as like who's going to get what, because I really think maybe raising these prices are just to break even, make everything the same, equal everywhere else. But again, it's just negative. It's negative press. Like, it just makes you look bad. So yeah. The other meme I was going to tell you about, because they have a pro controller that they're finally releasing 7 years after Xbox did it. The meme is that it's going to have a credit card chip reader in the bottom of it.
Square.
Yeah, I saw that. I laughed so hard. I was like, "That's really funny, man. That's hilarious." It was like, the controller, two controllers with like credit cards looking like they're going into the bottoms of them.
Yeah.
I thought
You
that
don't
was
have an
funny.
action replay anymore. You have your credit card and your controller.
Yeah, that's how you boot it up.
Yeah.
That's how you turn it on. Takes $1 to turn it on.
Just put fingerprint readers into the grips. So
Yeah.
when every time you pick it up, it automatically charges you.
Yeah.
Have it be like you know how they have pay-per-view? Have it pay per play.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's just, I mean, for closing for me, I guess, so we can move forward or whatnot. It's just I feel sad. I was telling Marcus, like, I feel sad for everybody that was looking for one and stuff, because I just feel like this is probably something they didn't have to do. So that's kind of my thing, is like, I feel like they didn't have to do it. But then, Rob, your point's correct. Is like, they didn't do this lightly. I really didn't feel like, the joke is like Jim Ryan's just like, just raise it $50. It's like, he
Yeah,
just didn't
cowboy
walk out of the
move.
restroom, throw a dart at a board and say, it's going up $30 everywhere but the US or something like that. But
No, he threw about 5 darts. One
Yeah.
landed on bringing exclusive to PC. One was raise console prices. One was raise game prices. One is raise service prices.
Yeah. So, I mean,
And
it's
who
like,
knows what the other one is.
yeah, I feel bad, in the part where I feel like is people shouldn't make it, like, again, shouldn't make excuses. You really need to fight back, and fight back with your wallet, because if you accept this so easy, like, you take it laying down, like, I'm just going to roll over and let you just walk all over me, they're just going to keep doing it because they know they can. Sony is the market leader in gaming right now, right? They're the market leader, and they're the ones, market leaders, tend not to be walking around like this and doing these things, but they're just like, well, we're in the lead, so let's just gouge everybody. It's like, I feel like they just didn't have to do it. That's where I'm at. And the
So
whole thing of like, oh, COVID and stuff, like, it's like, we're 2 years into COVID. Like, if you wanted to raise your prices, you would have done it because if it was because of COVID, you would have done it a year and a half ago. But yeah, I
So
feel
let
bad.
me throw a what if at you guys, because this was something that I thought of with all the negative PR that's been around Sony the last couple of months, especially this week. What wouldn't it be amazing if Microsoft, Phil Spencer came out this week and said, we understand the last couple of years have been tough, financial inflation across the board and people, losing jobs and, COVID and, just everything we've had to deal with. We want to bring the communities together and we want to make things easier for our customers. So we're going to reduce the cost of our consoles across the board globally by $50. Have a nice day.
Yeah. I don't think they would.
I mean, no, I know. But now, if they could cut everything by $50, you now have the Series S at $250 US, and you'd have the Series X at $450 US. And now that Series X and the PS5, now there's $100 gap in price around the world. And you've lowered it in the US, so the PS5 still stays at $500. You've now made, again, so you've actually adjusted in the US as well. And we know Microsoft has billions just sitting around.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of going and buying another studio, you cut the price.
Pass the savings on. Yeah, instead of
you pass the savings to your customer. You spin it how you want. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe you come up with, we were able to, because we know that Microsoft has already ramped up their production on the boxes. We know that they paid for supposedly it's AMD chip priority. I have heard stories that Sony's losing a lot of their chips because there was the chips that are coming out, they're having to scrap a bunch of them. Can't remember what the
wafers aren't, the wafer isn't getting, they're not getting the good yield out of them.
Yeah, there's some kind of number or whatever that was made up that they have to, these things when they're tested have to meet, and they're not meeting it. Which is great quality control, but if you are having a problem and you're, if that's why you're not able to get your chips because your own numbers are,
it's,
because of something you've done to say, well, this chip's not good enough. I mean, when maybe it really is.
It's the same thing like a CPU, or it's easier to tell about a GPU. So graphics card, like, you have your 3090, 3080, 3070 like levels. Every one of those things is the exact same card. It's just when they come out and they test them, the benchmarks say this one can be a 3090, this one can be a 3080, this one's a 3070. So this
one can be at a Series X. This one can't be, so we're going to put it in a Series X.
Yeah, everybody has that. Yeah, no matter who it is, they all have that. Yeah.
But PlayStation doesn't have that. So that I know that's another issue that they're having is their chip production is not. They're having a lot of failures, I guess, with their chip production. For whatever reason, I'm not an expert, and I'm not going to sit here and claim to be. But again, that doesn't. If you're whatever you've dealt with, because AMD and it seems like Microsoft and AMD aren't having that same problem. Maybe there's a problem with your chip or your specs or what you requested it to be done that can't be done. Yeah, that's not your customer's fault.
Right.
You can't really pass that on. But, whatever. It's still interesting. It's exciting because there's like all this going on. And, Rob made a really good point. And like what I did was I put emotion into it. And you're right. And when I sit here and think, and I've listened to both of you guys, at the end of the day, the people that are up in arms about it are the people that are on like in the games media or in the gaming, the Twitter verse or the YouTube verse or whatever, where this is what we talk about. Like it means more to us because I know, Ron, you were looking to get a PS5.
Yep.
You talked about that not long ago, and now you're like, well, maybe I'm gonna have to reconsider. And now it's
Mhm.
like, because you don't have one yet. Well, do you want to pay $50 more for it? Obviously, you won't have to. You're in the US, but if you didn't live here, that would be another. Well, now I got to reconsider it even a little bit more. But you
Yeah.
know, Rob is right. It is a business. They're to make money. They need to stick around. Um, it just
It
seems
even has nothing to do with them just sticking around. I mean, it's what
well, if they want to
EBITDA, I think is the
compete.
name for it, right? It's all about money in, money out.
But if they want to, well, for and again, that's yeah, we got to look at Sony as parent company is very different than PlayStation, you know, um, and that's where Microsoft. I mean, Xbox used to be kind of in the same boat, and I don't Xbox really has gotten a bigger seat at the table with the parent company, Microsoft, where I don't know if PlayStation does. We don't know how that works, but you know, Phil's been brought in and he's done such a great job. And now, there was talk, originally about selling Xbox off, like after the debacle of the Xbox One generation.
Yeah.
Microsoft was really considering scrapping it, saying, "Let's get out of this." I'm glad they didn't, and you get the right guy in there, and look what has turned around.
And I
And
sometimes wonder about like the whole Phil Spencer thing, because the thing that we also have to remember is that Microsoft doesn't. They're another company, just like Sony, that doesn't do things to be a nice guy. They spin it.
right,
It's spun.
oh yeah,
Phil is likable, and he can present in such a way where it's like, we're doing things for gamers. No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're
That's good to know.
also they're also doing it for the shareholders. No, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. They're doing it number one for the shareholders. Gamers are somewhere off in the distance. But the thing is, people have a perception of they're doing it for me. It's yeah, it's they're passionate about this stuff. Well, yeah, no. They're not
I
passionate. In the
I
end, it's money.
no
I think
Sony
Phil
PlayStation
Spencer's different though. He
PlayStation, the PlayStation group and the Xbox group, both of those both of those companies and the people that work there or whatever, those people are absolutely 100% passionate about gaming. Jim Ryan may be the exclusion, right? Like, I mean, I know he's a business guy. It's like the
yeah.
guy who shall not be named. Like, he wasn't a gamer. He wasn't passionate
No,
about gaming. But I really do
no.
like Jim Ryan. I think Jim Ryan's probably passionate about gaming. He might not play games all the time, but I think he's passionate about PlayStation and
I
gamers
I
and
think
stuff.
Reggie
So,
was.
oh
I
yeah,
think Reggie
yeah,
Fils-Aimé was. I believe
yeah,
Phil is. Did you guys get a chance to see that? Was it Bloomberg interview this week with Phil
yeah,
Spencer?
yeah,
Oh,
It was really good.
yeah.
It
I
was
like
really
how
good, and
people are
he even
spinning
said
his
that
words. People
yeah.
spinning his
he
stuff.
was saying he like plays about 15 hours a week. He plays video games. And he's not. I think, and even if Phil is like this evil ultimate corporate suit, right? If that's who he really is, and he only cares about money and he doesn't care about gamers, well, he's sure doing it the right way
Sure.
because he's building confidence in his customers. His customers love the brand. They're passionate about it. They love what he's doing. He's inclusive, which oh my god, I hate that word, but that's what it is about everyone being inclusive. He's like,
All those
look how he
webinars
has helped.
did a good job on you.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, I put it on mute and I walk away. I'm like, yeah, I was there. Um, and then that's the beauty of Zoom, right? Turn the camera off, put it on mute, walk away. Yeah, I was at that training. Um, the there's just Microsoft's doing a much better job PR wise, I think. And when Sony comes out and does stuff like this, it's just when you say it's hard and its cost of business is going up right after you just posted all this profit, and that's the problem I think is that people are like wait a minute, you're making tons of money, and you're saying you're having a hard time. It just it kind of it's not. You got Sony needs to do better.
Yeah.
And I think they really should improve. Now, I don't want them to go away.
No,
Part of
yeah.
me takes a great satisfaction. It's what's happening because I'm laughing at all these people that have been, all the ponies as we call them that just, oh, Sony can do no wrong. And well, yeah, and again, we know they always make excuses and they're no matter what, Sony can do no wrong or PlayStation can do no wrong. So I'm sure they're fine with the price increase. I just think it benefits Microsoft, but
Yeah.
um, it will at the end, it is just business. And I think the people that out there, the normal people, which is probably 98% of the market, that doesn't listen to gaming podcasts and watch gaming news sites. I mean, it's probably a huge percentage of people that don't. They just buy a console and play. They wouldn't know the difference. Or parents would be like, I want a PS5, mommy. Okay, fine. Oh, here's one. Oh, 550. All right, buy it. Because they don't know
Yeah.
that it just went up in price.
Right.
So,
I
but it still makes for some fun some YouTube
yeah.
video. Did you guys see the
was
ones I sent you the other day?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Dude, that guy is so funny.
Yeah. The thing on Twitter that kind of cracked me up too. It's funny, like when people keep doing it's like Sony can do whatever they want. They can raise their prices. They sold 120 million PS4s, and I'm like, this isn't the PS4. It's the PS5. It's like me saying like, hey, my team just won the 2022 national championship. Like, oh yeah, but the Buckeyes won it in 2015. Like nobody cares about 2015. Like nobody cares about 6 years ago. Nobody cares about 10 years ago. That's 3 years ago. Like nobody cares about the PS4.
What are you doing for me now? What have you done for me lately?
Right? Yeah. Like, well,
Like
good.
Rob said, give me another 8% of sales. Come on.
I mean,
I had a good quarter. That means you can do better.
Yeah, I missed the IGN stream where they showed Sony raising their championship banner into the rafters or whatever trophy they won. I just don't get it. I don't know what they won. Like, I missed that thing. But the one thing you mentioned about the Bloomberg thing is, Phil Spencer came out and said, "Hey, I see exclusives like becoming less and less." Like, how already did it, and like it just went all over. They're like, "Yeah, Starfield's coming to Sony, like PlayStation," and people are just like you do realize he's saying like putting stuff on the console and PC, and I'm sitting there thinking like, I don't care if you put like that. That's the thing is, I think PlayStation fans care that something's exclusive and that they win something if something's exclusive, because me personally, and I don't know how you guys feel, but me personally, I could care less if Starfield is or is not on the PlayStation, because I'm just going to go play the game. Like, I don't care where I play it.
Right,
Like,
right.
I'm going to go play it. I don't really care if I know it's going to be exclusive to the Xbox and PC. But like when he said that, they spun that real quick. Like, there you go, Xbox, you guys are going to lose again. Your stuff's going to be coming to our console, and some people are like, okay. Like, I saw people tweeting back like, okay, fine. Nobody cares, and it was like, you lose. And it's like, no.
How is it a loss? Because when you
like,
buy Starfield for PlayStation, Microsoft just got paid.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, no, we're not losing. You're actually winning something. You're getting something that you're refused to, but now all of a sudden Starfield, if that happened, Starfield's actually a good game now. Where 2 days ago it is a crappy game, but I don't think that's what
that's
he
not.
meant.
That's not what he said.
That's
because
not what he said. I know
what he's talking about is Sony saying they're going multi-plat by bringing their exclusives to PC.
Yeah,
that means stuff like that is, and I hope Phil's right. I think I think he's a good guy. I think he has great intentions. He really helped move forward this whole cross-play. Cross buy, like you were just talking about Destiny. Why do you got to buy the same piece of content multiple times? If I bought it, I should be able to play, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
each
ridiculous.
PC store, each PC store, each console is a separate purchase. But
it shouldn't be.
Well,
it shouldn't be.
I feel like PC, yes, Xbox, sure, PlayStation, sure, like I've
I can
like,
play.
not everything
I
has
can
to be.
play Flight Simulator on PC or Xbox.
Some things are
you only have to
cross.
pay for it once.
Yeah, some things are cross buy, or at least if they, you know, they
If
have
it
some work to do.
exists,
They have a
Mark,
chance.
if it exists on multiple platforms, you should buy it once.
it's like how
Period.
many times do you need to buy Ice Tea body count? Come on.
What's Skyrim? How many
Body
times we
count.
got by
Body count in
Skyrim
the
and The Witcher
house.
3? Witcher 3 and Skyrim.
Got it on CD,
You know.
got it on MP3, got it on
Yeah.
8-track.
Yeah. All right.
Body
We're
count
gonna,
in the house.
we're gonna run
Yeah,
out of our
all
time
right.
again. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's do this.
Okay, Rob, what you got for us today? What you got? What you got for us to play? Give us a list of games that we can buy and play. Okay,
Rob.
I just got reminded of a conversation I had with my son the other day, actually yesterday. We were talking about Ice-T, and he's like, yeah, that's that guy from what, Law and Order? Is that the show? I don't know which one he's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, he's a musician.
Yeah. Ice-T knows
He's a
Ice-T.
He's a rapper.
Yeah, and he's also the guy at Raising Cane's. Anyway, so for the week of August 29th through September 2nd, there's only a handful of games. I'll just tear through these real quick. We have on August 30th, which is what is that, Tuesday?
Yep.
I think so, yeah. So on Taco Tuesday, you can get Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed.
Such a good name.
Yeah, where do they
Yeah.
probe? What kind of probe is it? It's optimized for Series X and S. Of course, then we have Tinykin on August 30th. Some kind of retro game or whatever. Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma on August 30th. Fairy Elements on the 31st, optimized for Series X and S and Smart Delivery. Food Truck Tycoon.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
SS on August 31st.
Do you see it? Okay.
Food trucks are all the rage. Why not?
It's going to be $3.99 as a pre-order for it.
Food Truck Tycoon?
Yeah. It's $3
Really? Okay.
to get that game.
Are you serious?
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I
Oh.
just popped it up on the site. It says $4.99. It's scratched out. You can pre-order it for $3.99.
Oh. So it must be a mobile game or something.
It's on sale for ends in 3 days.
Yeah. Murder on the Marine Express, August 31st. Optimized for Series X and S and Smart Delivery. Something about a submarine train. And JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. Okay. Not sure what that Battle R is. Optimized for Series X and S and Smart Delivery. It's based on the All-Star Battle system from like 8 years ago. Then we have Onsen Master, optimized for X and S, Smart Delivery. Of course, it's a hot spring customer management game. All right. And Lego Brawls, September 2nd, Smart Delivery. Another Lego game.
This could be good.
Yeah. Is this the one that they've been having all those ads for? I know there's a new
think
Lego
so.
game.
I think
Maybe
so. I
this
think this is
isn't
the one
it.
I've seen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, this looks interesting.
It's a brawler,
Yeah.
but with Lego characters, and
Yeah.
you can add the little pieces and customize your Lego guy. And this could be a huge hit.
Yeah. So it's like is that kind of like that, what's that Nintendo game? Super Smash Brothers?
Smash Bros.
Yeah. Maybe something like that. Yeah. Battle and build your way to the top of global leaderboards. Cross play with friends, cross platforms. Battle through epic Lego themes. And build the ultimate brawler. Good times, good times. And I think, is that it? I believe that's it. That is all.
Well, thanks to Learn Your Lesson for the music. thanks for everybody for listening. Did you guys have any last stuff before we go?
I
I don't.
I dropped a picture for you in the chat of those.
I saw
Okay,
that.
that was it.
Right, and this is not directed at Braun. It's just for Braun.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
For real.
For real. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us this week. We'll catch y'all next week. I'm Mark, aka Wingman 709, taking
I'm
off.
Rob, also known as Presar. Thanks for listening, everybody. Catch y'all next week.
And Brun BJ Swick 33. Have a good night.